The conference room fell silent as Jolene walked in. Her ex-husband's face went from confused to pale to absolutely shattered in exactly 4 seconds. "Wait, you're the new owner?" Dax stammered, his voice cracking like thin ice. Jolene smiled, not a happy smile, the kind of smile that comes right before a hurricane. 3 days, Dax. You left me 3 days before I inherited $500 million. But wait, before I tell you how we got here, hit that like button if you've ever been underestimated by someone who thought they knew your worth. And subscribe because this story gets wild. Trust me, you won't see the ending coming. Now, you're probably wondering, how does someone go from crying over instant noodles to owning her ex-husband's entire life? And more importantly, what did she do with all that power? Let me take you back to where it all started. Back to the day Jolene's world exploded. 3 months earlier, Jolene Pritchard thought she had it all figured out. She was 32, senior marketing director at Velocity Corp, one of Connecticut's biggest tech firms. 6-figure salary, corner office, company car, and Dax Carmichael, her husband of 5 years. Handsome in that lazy, confident way. The kind of guy who could charm a room without trying. He worked odd jobs here and there, freelance graphic design, he called it. But mostly, he stayed home, handled the house, cooked dinner, made her laugh after brutal work days. "You're the breadwinner, babe," he'd say, kissing her forehead. "I'm the bread baker?" "No, wait, that doesn't work." She'd laugh. "You're ridiculous. Ridiculously in love with you." It was their thing. Corny jokes, inside humor, movie nights every Friday, plans for a beach house someday, maybe kids. She trusted him completely. Big mistake. April 9th, the day Jolene's life imploded. She was called into a conference room at 2 p.m. No warning. Just her boss, 2 HR reps, and a severance folder. "The company's restructuring. We're eliminating your position." Jolene blinked. "Excuse me." "Effective immediately. We're offering 3-month severance and I've been here 7 years. I brought in the Meridian account. I increased revenue by 40% last quarter. We appreciate your contributions, but the decision is final." Security escorted her out 20 minutes later. Box of desk supplies in her arms. Former colleagues avoiding eye contact. She sat in her car for an hour, numb. Then she drove home. She expected Dax to hold her, to tell her it would be okay, that they'd figure out together. Instead, he was packing a duffel bag. "Dax, what are you doing?" He didn't even look up. "I can't do this, Joe." "Can't do what?" "This. You. Being broke." The words hit her like a slap. "Broke? I just got laid off 3 hours ago. I have severance. Savings. We're not." "You don't get it." He zipped the bag. "I didn't sign up to be with someone who can't provide. I need stability." Jolene's throat tightened. "I've been providing for 5 years." "Yeah, and that was great. But now..." He finally looked at her. His eyes were cold. Stranger's eyes. "Now you're just another unemployed marketing person in a flooded market. I'm not sticking around for that." "Are you serious right now?" He slung the bag over his shoulder. "Dead serious." "Dax, we're married. We can fix that too." He walked toward the door. Jolene's voice cracked. "Is there someone else?" He paused, almost laughed. "Babe, there's been someone else for 8 months." The room tilted. "Her name's Sloan. She owns a boutique downtown, makes real money, and she actually appreciates me." He opened the door. "Wait!" Jolene's voice was barely a whisper. "You're leaving me? Today? The same day I lost my job." Dax turned back, smirking. "Honestly, perfect timing. I was looking for an out anyway." He pulled out his phone, typed something, then hit send. 30 seconds later, a text chimed. He showed her the screen. "Sloan, finally. I'm so proud of you, baby. Come home." Jolene felt something break inside her chest. Dax stepped outside, then looked back one last time. "Good luck, Joe. You're going to need it." The door clicked shut, and Jolene Pritchard, senior marketing director, wife, future mother, careful planner, collapsed on the hardwood floor and sobbed until her ribs hurt. The next week was a blur. Jolene applied to 43 jobs, got 0 callbacks. The mortgage was due, car payment, credit cards maxed from the anniversary trip to Napa that Dax insisted on. Her best friend, Keely, brought over groceries. You can't live on ramen and spite Joe. Watch me. Have you talked to a lawyer? With what money? Keely squeezed her hand. You'll get through this. Jolene wasn't so sure. At night, she'd scroll through Dax's Instagram. He'd already unblocked her, confident she'd see it. Pictures of him and Sloan, matching outfits, expensive restaurants, captions like finally found my person, and when you know, you know. The comments were worse. You two are goals. I'm so happy for you, Dax. She's gorgeous. Upgrade for sure. Jolene wanted to scream. Instead, she ate 79-cent noodles by candlelight because the power had been shut off. This was her life now. And then the phone rang. Miss Pritchard? Jolene squinted at the screen. Unknown number. Yes. This is Everett Hollis from Crestview and Associates. I'm calling regarding the estate of Margot Bellamy. Jolene frowned. I don't know a Margot Bellamy. She was your mother's aunt. She passed away 2 weeks ago in Monaco. Okay. You're listed as her sole heir. Jolene's stomach dropped. Scam. Had to be. Look, I'm not falling for her. Miss Pritchard, I assure you this is legitimate. The estate includes liquid assets, properties, and investment portfolios totaling approximately $500 million. Silence. Miss Pritchard, that's not possible. I have the documentation here. I can meet you tomorrow to review everything. Would 10 a.m. work? Jolene's hands were shaking. If this is a joke. It's not. I'll see you tomorrow. My office is at 1447 Thornfield Avenue. He hung up. Keely walked in with coffee. Who was that? Jolene stared at the phone. Joe, I think I just inherited $500 million. Keely's coffee hit the floor. Everett Hollis was 70, impeccably dressed and extremely serious. He slid a folder across his mahogany desk. Your great-aunt Margot never married. No children. She made her fortune in European real estate and investments. You met her once, at your mother's funeral. Jolene vaguely remembered an elegant older woman with a French accent. She left specific instructions. Everything goes to you. No conditions. No strings. Jolene opened the folder. Property deeds. Stock certificates. Bank statements. Her hands trembled. This is real. Very real. When do I get access? The first wire transfer will hit your account within 72 hours. $50 million to start. The rest will follow as probate clears. Jolene felt lightheaded. $50 million. In 3 days. Ms. Pritchard, are you all right? She looked up, tears streaming down her face. 3 days ago, my husband left me because I was broke. Everett raised an eyebrow. He didn't even wait a week. The lawyer's expression didn't change, but his tone softened. Then I'd say his timing was remarkably poor. Jolene laughed. A wild, slightly unhinged laugh. Yeah, it really was. Jolene didn't tell anyone. Not Keely. Not her mom. Nobody. When the money hit her account, she stared at the screen for 20 minutes. $50 million. She closed her laptop, walked to the bathroom, and threw up. Then she got to work. First, new phone number. Second, financial advisor. Discreet. Expensive. Recommended by Everett. Third, lawyer. The kind who specialize in making problems disappear. Fourth, private investigator. I want to know everything about my ex-husband. Where he works. Where he lives. Who he owes money to. Everything. The investigator, a sharp-eyed woman named Raylan, nodded. How detailed. Detailed enough that I could ruin his life if I wanted to. Raylan smiled. My favorite kind of case. 2 weeks later, Raylan delivered a file 3 inches thick. Jolene read it over wine. Dax had moved into Sloan's condo, a luxury building in Hartford's downtown district. Sloan's boutique was struggling, barely breaking even. Dax's freelance work? Non-existent. He was living off Sloan completely. He'd also racked up $40,000 in credit card debt, most of it from the Napa trip. Jolene's trip. She kept reading. Dax worked part-time at a tech startup called Apex Innovations. Low-level marketing assistant. $35,000 a year. Jolene smiled. She knew the CEO of Apex. Funny how the world works. Over the next month, Jolene quietly rebuilt her life. She bought a penthouse. Nothing flashy. Clean. Modern. Hers. She hired a stylist. Got a new wardrobe. Not for anyone else. For herself. She started a nonprofit. Something she'd always wanted to do. Supporting women leaving abusive relationships. She invested in 3 startups. One of them was in fashion, Sloane's biggest competitor. And she waited. Patience, she learned, was the sharpest weapon. 6 weeks after the inheritance, Jolene made her move. She contacted the CEO of Apex Innovations. Old colleague, owed her a favor. I'm interested in acquiring Apex. You're what? How much would it take? Joe, Apex is valued at $12 million. I'll give you 15. Cash. Close in 2 weeks. Silence. Are you serious? Dead serious. Why? Call it a personal investment. The deal closed on a Tuesday. Jolene was now the owner of Apex Innovations and Dax's boss. When we left off, Jolene had just bought her ex-husband's company. Dax, the man who dumped her for being broke, had no idea his new boss was a woman he left crying on the floor. And Jolene, she was just getting started. Because revenge isn't a single moment. It's a carefully planned demolition. And every building needs the right explosives. Before we dive in, smash that like button if you're ready to see karma work overtime. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? This is about to get good. Jolene's first day as owner of Apex Innovations was quiet. She didn't announce herself, didn't walk through the office, didn't even use her real name on the paperwork. The acquisition was handled through an LLC, completely legal, completely anonymous. As far as anyone at Apex knew, they'd been bought by a silent investor. Jolene wanted it that way, because the best traps are the ones no one sees coming. She called a meeting with the executive team. Virtual, camera off. I want a full audit of every employee. Performance reviews, sales numbers, behavioral reports. The interim CEO, a nervous man named Cliff, nodded rapidly. Of course. May I ask why? I'm cleaning house. Dead weight gets cut. High performers get promoted. Understood. And Cliff? Start with marketing. Raylan delivered updated surveillance 3 days later. Dax and Sloane were fighting. A lot. The boutique had missed rent twice. Sloane was bleeding money trying to keep up appearances. Dax wasn't helping. He spent his days playing video games and complaining about his toxic work environment. He says his boss doesn't appreciate him. Raylan reported, smirking. Jolene raised an eyebrow. His boss hasn't even met him yet. Exactly. Jolene studied the photos. Dax looked stressed. Good. What about the condo? Sloane's lease is up in 2 months. Landlord's selling the building. Jolene smiled slowly. Is that so? Raylan caught on immediately. Want to make some calls? Please do. 2 weeks later, Sloane's boutique lost its biggest supplier. They didn't explain why, just terminated the contract. Sloane panicked, posted desperate messages on social media looking for new vendors. No one responded because Jolene had quietly bought out the 3 biggest fashion suppliers in Connecticut. One phone call from her office, and Sloane was blacklisted. The condo building sold to an anonymous buyer. The new landlord sent a polite letter to all tenants. Rent is increasing by 40% starting next month. Those who cannot afford the new rate may terminate their lease early, without penalty. Sloane couldn't afford it. Neither could Dax. Jolene read the email forward from her property manager and sipped her coffee. Perfect. Sloane's world unraveled fast. The boutique closed within a month. Bankruptcy filing. Public and humiliating. She moved back in with her parents in Rhode Island. Dax, suddenly homeless and jobless girlfriendless, crashed on a friend's couch. He started showing up to Apex late, disheveled, angry. Jolene watched through the employee monitoring system. He complained constantly, snapped at coworkers, missed deadlines. Cliff sent her a message. Dax Carmichael is becoming a problem. Recommend termination. Jolene smiled. Not yet. I'll handle it personally. Jolene scheduled a meeting for a Friday afternoon. She had her lawyer present, her head of security, Raylan in the corner with a camera. Everything documented. Dax was told to report to the executive conference room at 4 p.m. He walked in looking annoyed. What's this about? I've got plans tonight. Cliff gestured to a chair. Please sit. I'd rather stand. Who's the new owner anyway? Some rich trust fund kid who doesn't know anything about. The door opened. Jolene walked in. Designer suit. Hair perfect. Heels that cost more than Dax's car. She looked like money. She looked like power. Dax's face went through 5 stages of grief in 3 seconds. Confusion. Recognition. Disbelief. Panic. Horror. Wait! His voice cracked. Joe. Jolene sat at the head of the table, crossed her legs, smiled. Hello, Dax. What were you doing here? I own this company. The room went silent. Dax laughed. Nervous. Confused. That's not possible. You were broke. You were unemployed. You! I was unemployed for 3 days. She opened a folder. April 9th. You left me. Called me broke. Said you needed someone who could provide. Joe, listen. April 12th. 3 days later. I inherited $500 million from my great-aunt. Dax's face went white. You left me 72 hours before I became wealthier than you'll ever be in 10 lifetimes. That's not. He couldn't finish the sentence. Jolene continued, voice calm, cold. I bought this company 6 weeks ago. I've been watching you. Every late arrival, every missed deadline, every complaint about your terrible boss. She slid a paper across the table. You're fired. No, Joe, wait. Security will escort you out. You have 10 minutes to clear your desk. Dax's eyes welled up. Jolene, please. I made a mistake. I was scared. I didn't know. You didn't wait to find out. I love you. I never stopped loving you. Jolene stood, looked him dead in the eye. You love my money. You just didn't know I'd have more of it. She walked toward the door. Wait! Dax's voice broke. What am I supposed to do? I have nothing. Sloan left me. I'm sleeping on a couch. Jolene paused. Turn back. Welcome to April 9th. Enjoy the ramen. She walked out. Behind her, she heard Dax collapse into a chair, sobbing. She didn't look back. Word spread fast. By Monday, everyone knew. Dax Carmichael, the guy who left his wife when she got laid off, got fired by that same wife after she became a multimillionaire. The story hit local news. Then social media. Connecticut woman fires ex-husband after inheriting fortune. Karma comes for cheating husband in the most savage way. He left her broke. She bought his job. The internet was ruthless. Sloane's Instagram, still public, got flooded with comments. How's your upgrade doing now? Bet you regret leaving Jolene, huh? Gold digger got what she deserved. Sloane deleted her account. Dax went dark completely. 2 months later, Jolene got a letter, handwritten, forwarded through her lawyer, from Dax. She almost threw it away, but curiosity won. Dear Joe, I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't deserve it. I was shallow, selfish, cruel. I treated you like you were only valuable when you had money, and the universe made sure I learned that lesson the hard way. I'm working at a grocery store now, stocking shelves. It's honest work. It's humbling. Sloane and I aren't together. Turns out she only wanted me when I had you to leech off of. Funny how that works. I don't want your money. I don't want your pity. I just wanted you to know that you were right. I didn't wait. I didn't fight. I didn't love you the way you deserved. And I regret that for the rest of my life. I hope you're happy. Really, you deserve everything good. Dax. Jolene read it twice. Felt nothing. No anger. No satisfaction. No sadness. Just emptiness where he used to live in her heart. She folded the letter, walked to her fireplace, and dropped it in, watched it burn. Jolene stood on the balcony of her new beach house. Not the one she and Dax planned. Better. Maine coastline. Private beach. Sunrise view. Keely sat beside her, wine in hand. So, how does it feel? How does what feel? Being the woman who won. Jolene thought about it. I didn't win. I just stopped losing. That's deep. I'm very wise now. Comes with the money. They laughed. Keely nudged her. Seriously, though, any regrets? Jolene watched the waves. I regret wasting 5 years on someone who saw me as a paycheck. But I don't regret what I did after. You destroyed him. No, I held up a mirror. He destroyed himself. Keely raised her glass. To mirrors. To mirrors. They clinked glasses. A year after the inheritance, Jolene's nonprofit had helped 200 women leave dangerous situations. She'd funded 3 women-owned businesses. She'd bought her mom a house. She traveled, learned Italian, took a pottery class, adopted a dog named Biscuit. She dated casually. Nothing serious. She wasn't in a hurry because she'd learned something important. Her value wasn't tied to someone else's perception. Not Dax's, not Sloane's, not anyone's. She was worth $500 million. But more than that, she was worth loving herself enough to walk away from people who didn't. One evening, she got a DM on Instagram from someone named at Redemption Dax. She almost blocked it, but the message preview caught her eye. I'm not asking for anything. Just wanted you to know I've been sober for 6 months, started therapy, and I'm volunteering at a shelter. You'll never see this probably, but thank you for the wake-up call. Jolene stared at the message. Then she did something unexpected. She replied, Good. Keep going. Not for me. For you. She didn't follow him. Didn't continue the conversation. But she didn't block him either. Because revenge was never about destroying Dax. It was about freeing herself. And she was finally completely free. 2 years later. Jolene sat in a coffee shop, working on her laptop. A woman approached. Mid-30s. Nervous. Excuse me, are you Jolene Pritchard? Jolene looked up. Yes. I'm sorry to bother you. I left my husband 3 months ago. He was controlling, abusive. I had nothing. Jolene closed her laptop, gave the woman her full attention. Your foundation helped me, gave me a place to stay, job training, therapy. The woman's eyes filled with tears. I start my new job Monday. I have my own apartment. My daughter is safe. She held out her hand. Thank you. You saved my life. Jolene shook her hand, smiling. You saved your own life. I just helped you remember you could. The woman left, wiping her eyes. Jolene sat back, staring at her coffee, and she realized something. This, helping that woman, seeing her stand tall, felt better than any revenge ever could. Dax took 5 years of her life, but she'd taken those years back and built something beautiful with them. So here's my question for you. Do you think Jolene did the right thing? Was the revenge justified? Or should she have just walked away? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story taught you anything about knowing your worth, hit that like button and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more stories about people who refuse to stay down when life knocked them over. Because here's the truth. The best revenge isn't destroying someone else. It's becoming so successful, so happy, so completely whole without them that they become irrelevant. Jolene learned that. And maybe, just maybe, Dax did too. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.